No.
Right here? I'll pitch here. I'll pitch to you guys, yeah? You'll be the business executives.
Yes.
Because I'm too harsh, so I don't want to.
All right. Pencils down. And we're going to go through the pitches here, and we're going to go ahead and start with our table here just as an example of maybe what not to do, maybe what to do, who knows. But if you guys want to go ahead and kind of gather around here, and you can kind of see, and then we'll move from table to table, and each team will have a presenter go through. And these are going to be shorter presentations, and you want to keep in mind when you're giving the presentation, there's a couple of items of who is the game for, how long does the game take, what age, what are the basic, without going through all of the rules, how can you go ahead and explain the game in just a matter of a few seconds? If it takes you a half hour to explain the game rules, you're going to have a really hard time selling it. And you're going to lose the other person somewhere along the way, especially if it's late in the day, they're already tired, and they just like, yeah, what is this for? And you just keep droning on, and he's already like, he already doesn't like it. You haven't even tried it, and he doesn't like it already. So you have to try to be quick. If you're pitching a big game, then yeah. So I'll be pitching the game. I'll try to be quick. Perfect.
Yeah. Should I do the whole routine when I come in and say hi? And,
hi.
Yeah. Hi. My name's Jānis. We have a meeting. Yeah, can you,
sure.
Here?
Make
yeah.
it quick.
Okay, sure. So I have this game. It's called Walking Starfish. It's I know you guys are from Brain Games, right? And so this is a children's game. So it's like target audience is 4+. Yeah. Oh,
Take a big breath.
Okay. It's been a busy day. It's my first time pitching, which is true. I'm not joking. I've never pitched a game before. What you do here is you're trying to cover the feet of your starfish. So right now it's a 2-player game. It's a prototype. It can be expanded with multiple expansions to 3, 4, 5, and so on. And you're trying to put shoes. No, that's not a shoe. That's why you should prepare the deck before. That's not a shoe. That's not a shoe.
I did this to you.
Yeah. Thank you. But that's a very good example of like trying to find the right thing, and you can't, and it's like, oh, okay, come on. So this is a shoe, and not final artwork if anybody's not seeing this. On my turn, I draw a card, and I need to put the shoe, and I can put it either on my starfish or the other starfish, and those are points. So, and there's 1 to 5 points. So probably I want to go for my starfish now, but. Let's say if I drew, you did this again? Okay, so if I have draw a lower number, I can put it onto another starfish, right? And then there are special cards. There are special cards like poop, obviously. Which you step in, that's minus points. There's water, you can wash off the poop, or you can wash off the other player's shoe, and then it's naked. And we go this way until the whole deck runs out, and who has the most points on their feet wins the game.
How long does a game take to play?
It's around 10 minutes. 10, 15 for 2 players. Yeah.
And what's the age you see?
4+. I think it's around 4+. It's a very light children's game.
And it's only 2-player?
No. Well, yeah. At this stage it is, but you can easily make it 3 or 4 players. Yeah.
With 52 cards would be like a 3-player game.
I think so. I haven't made a bigger. Yeah.
3 to 4 player.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I should say yes. Yes. Okay.
And
did you want the sell sheet of this?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, Egils, you have the sell sheet. So why now? Because clearly you're not impressed, right? So is it my presentation, or is it the game, or is it both? Just it's okay. I can take it. Is it the artwork? It's not final.
Well, yeah. First thing, a lot of designers say it's not the final artwork. Obviously,
it's never the final artwork, so you don't have to explain that.
The publisher
okay, but
does the final artwork.
Yeah. Well, I know, but as an author, I don't know, and so I'm inclined to explain this because maybe that's the first thing I think you don't like, So, but other than that, what do you think?
I like it as a children's game.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing is I think you just need. Have you tested it with children? How many?
Very old children. I've played it 3 times, and with 40-year-old children. Yeah. Yeah, so
40-year-olds, 7-year-olds.
yeah. So, would you like a prototype? And another thing, which is usually a good sign, is publishers will ask for a prototype, which usually is a good sign. But if they're not interested in a prototype, that probably means no outright.
So is there any sort of strategy in this game beyond just flipping the cards, or is it more like Candyland or Snakes and Ladders, where you flip over a card and that's your turn?
You do have strategy. One more rule that I didn't mention is if you have the same color shoe, you can replace the same color shoe on any starfish. Let me just get the same color shoe. Or for example, let's say I have like this, I could play this, well, that's the wrong example. I could play this one for me and have 1 point guaranteed, or just replace yours with a 1. So there's some choices, or for example, if...
so you can either take the points or you can give somebody less points than they already have.
So there's a little bit of strategy, but since it's for small children, there's not a lot, and there's a lot of luck involved. Yeah. So some decisions, but not a lot.
Well, I like the name. I like the name and the artwork, actually, and the shoes. The fact that you can expand a lot on the type of shoes, on the type of feet.
It's very expandable, yeah. I have ideas for 3 expansions already.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so no prototype?
No, thank you.
Okay. Do you want the sales sheet still?
I think we got it.
Yeah.
Shall we go to the next table?
Who's next? Who would like to go next? Rather than pick, because we can pick and just... We will go counterclockwise today. That means you're last.
You have time.
Nope.
Do you want to comment on the... If you don't want to...
So, yeah, you're standing, okay. So this is Cat College. The idea, it's a family, children-friendly game, and the idea is that there are, each player is a cat, and he tries to learn a specialty, and each card represents a specialty, and to complete the specialty cards, you need to gather the traits, the abilities, the traits of a cat. The turn consists of, okay, so we start at 1 card. All the cats start at 1 card. And then on a turn, we roll player count plus 1 die. And the blanks are the random. Okay, and then each player chooses a die clockwise, and it represents how many trait points he gets. And the interesting part of, well, they said that we must break a rule, and this game breaks the rule of not drawing on cards. I know that for gamers, it's not a special thing, but for casual people, writing on cards is a big no-no. So this game is like write on cards, and then you can at the end of the game erase what have you written. So during the turn, player chooses a die and marks chooses one. Chooses one of the trait he wants to use. And
is the one for each player?
These are cards for each player. These are the tokens that they get. They are
Yep.
kitties.
Okay. Each player gets a kitty
Their own
card
cat.
and a kitty token, yes. And then we move to the card that we have that we move to, and then the next player
So
does the same.
your player 1 then moving across.
No, the idea is to fill the card, and when the card is entirely filled, then the person, the cat who finished the last empty space on that card, gets the card and marks it as his. And there is this other point for a person who got the majority. And so on this card, majority of these markings on the card.
So, but how many kitty tokens do you have each player?
Each player has one kitty token and a marker. Actually, our idea is it's not a marker, but it's, there are these stamp markers you can use. You can, for children, you can like stamp them. So on a turn, when you move 4 or like mark 4, you put 4 stamp thingies on these cards.
So every card is worth, or has the ability of scoring 2 different ways, either having the most markings or be the very last marking right there.
True. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes, that's true. And when the card is removed, then the available faculties or the powers of the cats are shrunk, and the table gets smaller and smaller. And when we run out of the cards, then the game ends, and whoever has the most points win.
How long does it play?
15 minutes. It's a filler, family, really children friendly. For now, it's 4, but we should play test it for 2 and then more than 5. Currently, we did not have time to do that.
And as far as the theming, are each of these like a course? Like this is...
Well, this could be like a space cat. This could be a cat who knows how to cook food. This is like a good mouse catcher. And this one is a cat fighter, cat communicator. And then the traits would be like agility, fluffiness, cuteness, communication. And then we would... make them like a little bit more thematic. So a space cat would need a lot of strength, but maybe fewer amount of communication, or I don't know, like that.
I love the theme and the setup.
And then there is one. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. There is one more. If it happens that cat can't. Put on markers here, then he gets like extra credit on his own card, and he can like gather his own ability, extra credit, yes, and then you can grow your cat for some reason.
Well, any feedback? So we're gonna have to keep moving from group to group, but
Yes.
So you have to do it in order, right? So the roll is 4, 1, 2, 3, and then on the next
Okay.
card, because there's no other.
and we probably don't have enough time to go into the deep rules of this right now because we're gonna have to keep moving.
One direction. If you have not finished the ability, you must continue on the same ability. If you have finished an ability, you can change the ability to other one.
Well, we would love to have a prototype, please.
Take it.
Thank you.
Yeah, one thing I would just consider as a little feedback is the dice, rolling a dice, and that's how many turns you get, is a very played out mechanic. Like, is there any other way that might be a little bit more unique that you could think about versus just the dice roll and the move? I don't know what it is, but just something to,
like
something to
5
consider.
or 6 different ways of doing that. Yes, This was the easiest one. Yes.
Yes. Nice game.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, who's next?
Hey, so we have here a game which is called Elevator Pitch, and it's about designers pitching games to publishers.
So you kept the theme.
Yeah, why not?
Congrats. I mean, perfect.
So you got a
Two
deck,
extra points.
a deck of ideas, and you have a deck of publishers. So publishers are double-sided. When you set up the deck, you see their likes and dislikes, but these are very, very detailed and a slight memory element. So, for example, this guy loves animals, doesn't love the robot. But anyway, so you place the publishers like this. Let's say 4. And then you draw your deck of 7 cards from the ideas deck. And the ideas can be either themes or mechanics. And the goal of the game is you basically combine the cards. For example, I'm going to do a miniatures game with roll and move. Don't ever do that. Which will be about talking animals fighting. So it's a sports fantasy game which uses, which is thematic and a party game. And then I see, can I pitch it to somebody? So this guy I would be able to pitch, but unfortunately he has a dislike for fantasy, so I think I'll just ditch the animals and put in the aliens. So now it's a sci-fi fighting game with miniatures and roll and move. And I pitch it to this guy and I check. Oh, damn, he doesn't like fighters in space, so he declines my pitch. My turn ends.
There is some hidden information
Yes.
in the back.
It's not
For each
hidden, it's a
product.
slight memory element, because when you set up, you see it, right? So this is a very funny guy. He likes everything, but secretly he really dislikes dragon space and fighters. Yes, so you could go for less risky and pitch to somebody else, but I don't want to read it now.
So those are the two-faced. Those are the two-faced publishers.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, we're gonna take everything, bring all the games, and then no. Anyway, but if I don't have enough cards, let's say I only have one mechanism card, then I can either trade ideas. I can offer I cannot name the cards. I can say I'm trading 3 themes for 3 ideas, and we can trade with other player, or I can discard any number of cards. Maybe I want, all publishers have different values. I can discard cards and draw up to 7, and then my turn ends. We play until this deck runs out, and then whoever pitched the most games successfully wins the game.
Nice.
I love it. Yeah, it's really extra points for keeping the theme. But theme-wise, I think the game is not marketable.
Sure.
I mean, it doesn't stand any chance to go on the market and be successful.
But
Just pointing it out. I mean,
you know,
theme-wise, it's relevant to people like us, and it's a very niche, small market. But mechanic-wise, I mean, change the mechanic because it's a great game.
But in the worst case scenario, I can just always crowdfund it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sell it, tell your friends. One of the bits of feedback I would have, and maybe I don't see it yet, but there's some of these games. Let's say you're playing with 5 people. It's your turn. 4 people are going to wait a long time until they have anything they get to do again.
Oh, no, they have their cards. Like, you take your time to read the cards, you plan your move.
So you're planning, though, but you're not doing any sort of turn
Don't forget
until it
that
comes back to your turn. So is there any interaction between...
Trading.
Okay, trading.
Like, you can always trade cards, but
Okay.
you're not allowed to show what you're trading. You can say, like, I'm trading this type for that type.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course, this is the very basic rules, and the games can be expanded with more complexity. We can add abilities here. For example, we have somewhere there in the deck, we have a legacy mechanism, which if you use it, then everybody wants it, obviously. And then you have zombie theme, which you can put in any game.
Zombies sell.
And then it counts as two topics. Well, yeah, that's a game.
Cool. Yes, want to add something? Probably not. Everything was told now. So yeah.
Sorry, I kind of started, I couldn't stop.
Cool. Thank you.
Nice. Nice job.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Hello. Nice to see you. So we, our ambitious small team, would like to pitch the game called Pizza Time. It's about 20 minutes family game with the young children, probably age 4 to 5, and in the end of which game you probably will need to order a pizza. So I think it's good possible collaboration with the pizza network, pizza distributors and pizza companies and food companies. Yeah. So the goal is to build a pizza. So the game starts while you each player takes cards, about for example 5 or 6. Yeah. Then we also take the timer. Why pizza time? We combine the image of the pizza and the clock, since both are in the circles, and each minute the mouse moves. And the game starts when we just turn the arrow which looks like a mouse, and it somewhere stops. It means that this slice, this tile, is will be in future it will be dangerous. So mouse is like our enemy. Yeah, and then we start the play. So make the first move. Yeah. Yeah, and then you put a cart with the pizza, and how to say, the important thing is that parallel you need to how to say, the not each cart matches another cart, so you need to build a pizza drawing, correct pizza drawing. It probably should be quite simple, not very complex, so be able to all let's say many combinations of the cards. Yeah, now it's like my move, 1, 2, and yeah, I'm putting now I basically can put any card, and after the time ends, we spin the arrow. Yeah, and for example, if the arrow ends on the card, so we take out the slice, so it makes the game longer, and so it disturbs us to make a pizza. Yeah. So and the game ends when how to say, we put all the pizza together. So and then we can order pizza. Yeah.
How many players?
It's probably, I think, until 2 to 4. I think it's comfortable amount.
I love the name and I love the combination and kind of the how do you say, gimmicks? Not the, well, yeah, the components. It's perfect.
Plus points
family.
for taking the time and cutting out the pizza slices.
Yes. From the gimmicks, it's a very sellable game that, yeah, definitely. From the gimmicks itself, that's something you can pitch to big companies, not going into details in the rules, but the look of it, pizza time, where you combine pizza slices with the time, I think it's a very, very strong.
We need to thank you for our angel.
One of the things that needs probably a little bit of work is the complexity. There's sort of like the game developer's trap of, hey, we can use cards, we can use a spinner, we can use dice. When in reality, all three of those do the same thing. They're all a randomizer. And so typically, if you've got more than one randomizer in a game, for a young group, there's something that's going to be a little bit broken. So you want to minimize the amount of randomizers you put in there. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you can use one randomizer to do more than one thing. It's like drawing the cards might have the amount of moves you can do on there as well. So rather than needing to roll, you could also have numbers on the card. So you can put components together. So that's just a little bit of feedback for trying to make games more simple for the age group rather than including. That's one of the things I see.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Yeah. It's cute.
Yeah.
Well, I would really, I mean, for everyone, I would really encourage you, if you want, like, to continue on the idea in general. No, thank you.
No, actually, a really awesome idea with the shoes.
You're just nice guy.
Expansion of the 6-4.
Yeah.
But great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. Yeah, and of course, thank you for the teammate.
Nice work. Wow, you guys got busy with your cards.
Who has the mic?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to represent our pitch, and the game we came to conclusion to call it the Cyber Spice, and it's in the theme of cyberpunk. At the moment it's only white, but you can imagine the cyber punk world type of game in the future or in a different timeline. And the goal of the game is to get to the enemy faculty and back to your with the information. We have come to conclusion like to get a cyber disk with cyber information, and each company is sending their spy, and the first spy who gets the information back wins. The other option is that one of the spies die on the trip to there and back. So that's the lore of the game, and about the mechanics. It's so that before the game starts, this middle ground is all upside down, are randomly mixed up and put down upside down. And two of the tiles are the danger zone, where before saying about, well, that's the start, that will do 1 damage to whoever steps in it. And also, each player can put, while the other one's not looking, one danger zone and one slowdown tile upside down, so they are hidden from the opponent. And the opponent puts on this side. And then the game can start. The thing is that each player can do one move, or he can inspect the move in front of him. If there is a trap, then he disarms it, and then he can safely move next turn to it. And the third action, which is one time in the game, is to heal himself with 1 HP. And each player has only 2 health points. That means if he's damaged, then it's a reckless move to move ahead without inspecting. So if a player is damaged and he has used his ability already to heal, then and still damaged, every move is a reckless move without checking what's in front of him. So, and if a life player gets here, he can also run into the middle ground and get damaged if he is not inspecting in front of him. And when both players cross the sides, then the player puts 2. Then again, each player doesn't look what they're doing. He puts 2 more hidden trap cards on the field. Not he was when he was here. He at the start put here, and when they both cross, he adds 2 more for a trap for your opponent when he comes back to maybe fall on them. And also the middle is randomized again. And as I was saying at the beginning, the end goal is whoever gets first back without dying wins, or also if one dies, it's an automatic win, or if the players speak to each other that no, you still need to get with that 1 HP back, there is also a possibility of a draw. Maybe a rare case is when both players get in at the end at the same time, because here it's not important who moves first. We make it as it's simultaneously happening. And
can you explain how they're moving forward? Like, how do they get to do their move?
Each has an option to choose to move, to inspect, or to heal.
Okay.
And when he has been damaged, it's just moving in unknown tiles is a reckless behavior, and you can lose the game because you have only 1 HP point left. And also another thing, it's of course from 12 and up years of players. And of course we didn't have lots of time. We had many plans, maybe more players, but this is 1 vs 1, and approximately if they are experienced players and or doing a speed run, it can be in 5 minutes, maybe in 2 minutes if they do it, but normally it could take for new players half an hour or plus minus for 1 session. If one player is not super reckless, then it can end in first few minutes. Okay, what was your question?
What do you think you should do how do you win the game? So what could be a strategy?
Strategy could be, yes, one problem with which we realized that it's quite lots of luck based at the moment. we would add something more, but the strategy is that you know which is the best. Yes, there was another option, is that players, if they meet, they damage each other. That means a player who has already been damaged would likely run from the other one. And there is a possibility that it's a draw if they both have one HP. They both can die in the middle.
So it's like capture the flag meets Minesweeper.
Yeah, it's...
but there's no numbers on the board, so you might blow up.
But you can inspect if there is something hidden. This is the thing is like this is -1 HP and it's hidden, and this is like the trap card. A trap card also is the thing that it slows down you. If you stop in it, that means your opponent is one move ahead of you. And of course, you are slowed down if you're inspecting ahead of yourself, but your opponent is risking it and being reckless. In some way, there's how to win is luck, and if you're not reckless, and your opponent kills himself by being too reckless, and of course, where you put the first tiles cannot be put with traps. These two, but here you can add. It means 4 of them will be with some kind of traps at the end of the game, if not disarmed or if nobody has stepped in them.
Can you make it clear for inspect? When I inspect a card, do I keep that secret so nobody else knows?
The thing is, your opponent has put those cards there.
Okay.
And that means he knows already. And when you inspect, you disarm it.
Okay.
And
all of them, all opponents' part.
Is
4.
So it's,
4 traps.
so
there's
it's like
at the beginning there are 2. When both of them crosses, he adds 2 more.
so it's like Stratego. Yes. Stratego, but those would be the bombs, and like so you gotta.
I guess we kind of went with the flow. There was some talks of, but it's maybe a coincidence if it's similar to other games.
It's okay to have the similarities. It's definitely a great departure, because one of the things with Stratego is it's a big commitment. You know, you sit down and it's like, oh, we're going to play a game for the next hour, and something like this could be a light version of that sort of play that only takes you, 10, 15 minutes around, and so it's repeatable versus, your whole day. I like that aspect of it.
And it's also a 2-player.
Well, actually, at the beginning we thought about target audience. It doesn't work, but anyway.
It does. No, it does.
Yes, one.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
Well, anyway, in the beginning we thought about our target audience, and we thought that it's kind of the game for the gamers who want like a quick-paced game before they play something serious, which takes like 3 hours and something like that. It's basically just a appealable, quick, battle thing for 2 players when you play 1 versus 1, and possibilities are basically endless, because there could be like teams against team, there could be 3 players and one is like messing up things. So basically that's the core. Of course, it's generally now it has like lots of luck involved, and it's like a mixture of Stratego, Minesweeper, and whatsoever. So, but the directions which it can go, it's absolutely endless actually, and we really
I think it's a really good start. I think it could, with a little bit more development and something where it could give people a little bit more strategy and control, it could make that into a good game.
Yeah, quickly mentioning the similarities to Stratego, what this does have, and that's the one thing I mentioned sometime earlier, is that one twist that you place things on the opposite side of the board. In Stratego, you only place on your side of the board. And in this case, so that's already a twist, probably even if you don't know the Stratego, but everyone in the publishing business will do. But that's good to know. That is, user can say, yeah, it's like Stratego, but you place stuff on the other side, opposed to only your side. So that's one thing. And maybe one thing I would add more, I like the basicness of this. It feels just there's not a lot of options on your turn. Why wouldn't I check always, right? Why would I just rush for it? I would always check and go, and that's what I... Sorry? Yeah, but then, well, I'll look at the other player. If he's doing the same thing, then the first player to start probably wins, right? But if he's rushing, then I'd be rushing too, so it's kind of like a mirror. But yeah, but again, it's subjective. In a way, what I'm saying is the ultimate truth, so yeah.
I would like to say we were thinking it the opposite way. Why wouldn't you rush it not to inspect every tile, especially at the start, because there are 7 possible possibilities placed, and at the start, before you cross it, there are only 2 traps. That means at the start you will be definitely most likely rushing. At the end, yes, you will be inspecting every tile, but at the start it will be a rush game.
Yeah, yeah, just a short comment from my side also. I'm not saying if, I'm going to say when you are going to pitch this to a publisher. Like the first thing I would suggest you to do is to really cut down the basic gameplay, the very basic moves, and not go into much details.
When explaining the game.
When explaining the game, when starting to explain.
Because it took quite a bit of time, and then when you were done, we still asked the same questions which you already can explain. So we either missed that or it wasn't clear enough.
Because you can draw the.
It's a very bad impression to the publisher. Just
you can draw the parallels to things like Stratego. That's okay because people that know how to play, like, you know, you moving like Stratego, suddenly we can fill in the gaps for the rest of that and then talk about the highlights. You know, something where you can explain it in seriously 60 seconds.
Okay, but yeah, one more, and then
we got to move to the last one.
I had a very short comment. So basically, there was some questions about the player choices, which are not that many here, which is not a problem in itself. But I think you have a slight clash between the design and the theme. If I were to pitch this, I would probably change this to, for example, like a pair of wolves trying to catch a hen from the farm, and then it would make much more sense, and you would be able to maybe pitch it to a younger audience, which the mechanisms would actually work for. Because if you're offering me a cyberpunk game, I'm expecting a hand of cards and abilities and whatever, and I don't expect memory mechanics necessarily. So just a thought.
And very true point. And for such a game, actually, luck is good. Like for a family game, luck is even needed.
Yeah, it levels the playing field for everybody.
Yeah.
That way, the 6-year-olds can also win.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good job, guys.
Okay.
And last but not least.
Okay, we have the game named Give Me Your Shiny Things. It's the game about the robbery, and we have team robbery and team security. The good point of the game that you can be from 2 players to 6, including that you can work as a team for the robbery team, and you can play separately and protect your own gold. And if you're like us, so I can play for the whole robbery team, and you can play for the whole security team. So the point of the game to get the gold and go back. But it's not that simple because when robbery team goes the way is blocked. So you can't go back on the same point. So we can play a bit.
And you're taking turns. This is just sped up, like back and forth.
Okay. So we're meeting the situation when, for example, Raven meets with one Guardian, and Guardian blocks the way. So the thing is how to get back. So Team Bird is the Raven and the back Bird. They should meet near to get block of the security. So they just kick him and he goes back. To get rid of the robbery, 2 Guardians should block the way for 1 robbery. So it's kind of tricky because robbery can block the way for himself, like doing the line and just making the way to the gold and going back. The point is how to go back if you have no road. And it's also tricky because you can do a bit simple and just go block the way and stay with 1 security on 1 field and just go back and win. But you can also collaborate with the different players and get the gold, block the security, and get with the team and get the 2 golds and win. So that's the game.
So, the same question actually. So, what would be a good tactic? So, what do you think would be a good tactic to try to outsmart the other people?
So I would say each team, I would say Team Bird and Team Robber do have their own advantages. So birds are going better when they are together. So if there are 3 players, for example, 1 for Team Birds, 1 for Team Robber, and 1 for Team Security, probably the bird wins. Because they're together, they can think together, and when they see the Guardian, just block the way and go further. As well, you can also block the center of the play, and it's good when 2 Guardians are away, because you are with only one, he can block you, but if you're a robber, you're blocked for 2 ways, and then you're free, so you kick out from the Guardian, and you just go. So you need to block the Guardians, maybe block them here, like this, so they're stuck, and they lost.
How many moves do you get to move per turn, and how is that decided?
Now 1, because we still are working on the gameplay, because we are just making our prototype for our publishers.
It's one of the things that my math brain looks at, and it's a stalemate without some sort of like luck advantage or randomizer that says, or some sort of strategic way that allows people to, it's like be faster at a moment and get ahead of somebody else.
And that's the lack of question, if you need to be fast or you just need to think and wait to block the way to the Guardians. As well, we are thinking about the extension of this one, because like the Guardians is that way active. If you are 6 players and they do have brains, they can do a big game for an hour. Or if you're just 2, you can make the small one and finish it in 15 minutes or in 10. Because one can just block him, block the Guardians, and just pass through.
One other thing to maybe consider as you continue to play test is the ability to remove a coin. Because I feel like if I was wanting to block, do the Guardians leave coins when they go to? Do they block, or is it just the just the robbers leave the trail?
If one robbery is with coin and meets with another one, and if the birds are not working together, so it's like 2 players, one can get from another, and this one is blocked for 1 way, and this goes further. So he can wait when the one do the dirty job and just pick it up, but stay out of the Guardians.
It's a lot of unique stuff here.
So if you meet the 2 Guardians with the coin, you're out.
Nice.
Yeah, the first thing I noticed is that it's called asymmetrical gameplay, and that's very surprising to see something like that here, is when the teams have different ways they play. I mean, it's not a different movement, different rules and everything. Second thing I liked about your pitch, you immediately started playing. Sometimes it is one of the best ways to pitch, not go on about, so this is what you can do and this does that, let's just play. On your turn you can do that, go ahead. And that's also a good way to pitch because they're involved and they don't have to listen a lot to a lot of rules. So that's what I really liked, yeah. Yeah, and like David said, there's a lot of unique things here that I think you will have a tough time to put together to work perfectly. Maybe you'll have to throw something out, but you started on a really grand scale, which is cool, which means you have a lot of stuff to maybe remove or cut down or just simplify.
Or 3 games.
Or just cut it down into 3 games, yeah. So very unique, yep.
Thank you. Any more questions? Something to add to?
I like that.
I think you need to continue.
Yeah, I think so, and I think you're on the right track. Yeah, for sure. But also, I think what we were discussing, maybe you should have like a secret entrance. So one of the things that is laid out as the trail might be like a secret gate to somewhere else on the board. So, like you.
Like let's hear a key.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the key
So these are all face down, and when you play them, it's going to
So
a different
it's
image.
like we're imagining like the gardens why they don't do the holes in the ground because they are like home and they're protecting, so they shouldn't destroy everything. But when you are a beggar or you are a robber, you should like try to find out, and you can't go back where you were. So you're just making the holes, like we have the holes here, but when you are just walking, you're making your way out impossible. And you are walking just betting on the floor and making your mark signable.
Well, thank you for sharing. We are out of time.
We are out of time, yeah.
So down to the minute. nice work.
And yeah, we do have to finish. Some last couple of words. I mean, I think every single team did a great starting job, and our kind of purpose for you was to make that move and try to see and experience that pressure. I mean, we didn't want you to, actually we did. Well.
And you did it. You executed it.
Yeah,
You guys did a great job.
Amazing, yeah.
But a lot of it
usually
comes down
this
to the,
takes years, and we did it like 2.5 hours. So
a lot of it comes down to just the process and getting to realize that making prototypes out of scraps that you find or like quick sketches or you guys were ripping cards in half to make your game pieces. Like it doesn't take a lot to play test something quickly, but there's something inside of all of us that doesn't want to do that. And we don't want to try it because it looks bad, and we think somebody's going to look at it and say that's stupid, or that's dumb. And I think every single 5-year-old you meet is an artist. They are, or a 5-year-old comes to you with 5 Lego blocks put together, and they see a spaceship, and at some point that went away because they became self-aware and they started to feel that their ideas were stupid, or somebody was going to make fun of them. And if you're going to be a game developer, you've got to give up that whole notion. And so just get it out there and don't be afraid of getting an idea out there and getting the feedback from the most basic sketch or prototype. And so hopefully those tools are helpful for you guys going forward, whether it's physical or digital or phygital.
So I was wondering who liked it so much that they think they're going to continue working on their game? Or even working on other games? Or you! I'm really surprised by the output. It's cool to see.
Good job, guys.
Nice job.
Thank you. Yeah, but and you are of course free to take that stuff with you and continue.
It'll be easier if you do.
Yes. Yeah, please do. Actually,
because then otherwise we have to clean up your mess. But if you clean up your mess, it's a lot easier for all of us.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Nice work. Thank you for you guys running.